Good morning, everybody.
Morning.
How's everybody doing?
Good.
Good.
Ready to
Have
go?
a good weekend? Anybody have any fun stories to share about the weekend? PG-13 stories, no? Right. We're moving out of our condo over in Clovis that we've had up there. Our daughters went to school up there. We bought a condo about 3 years ago. Had to get the tenants, all of this thing, and we renovated it. And it's been a place for my wife and I kind of feel like home with the president. Two of our daughters live over there, and then the office there. And I had to say, it was a little bit sad kind of cleaning it out this weekend, because like, we're not gonna have a place, and sometimes you go and have a big lunch and you just want to go use your own restroom at home, sometimes it was that. But it's cleaning out and we're gonna have it rented, hopefully, first or second week of next month, and it's kind of like an interesting thing. But if anybody wants to rent a 2-bedroom condo with a loft for about $2,000 a month, let me know. So we got that going on. What's coming up quick? What did it feel like yesterday? Did it feel like spring a little bit?
Yes.
It did, didn't it? Right? What happens in springs? Sports fans?
Baseball.
Say it again?
Baseball.
We have any baseball fans in the house?
Yes.
Good. So two friends grew up, they played, little league together, and they played high school ball together, and then they played college ball together. And then they coached the rest of their life, like 30, 40 years. Baseball was a part of their life. It was something that they really, really enjoyed. And it was kept their friendship together. And now they're in their 80s, one's getting ready to pass away, and they make this pact. Hey, if you pass away, or if I pass away, let's make a pact that you'll come back and you'll let the other one know if there's baseball in heaven. It's a deal. A few months later, one of them passes away. And just after the wake, just like they promised, he comes back to his friend. He says, hey, got good news and bad news. He says, what's the good news? He says, there's baseball in heaven. He says, that's great news, man. Then what's the bad news? You're pitching next week. Kevin, with that, please put the flag up. Please stand for the flag salute, everybody. Ready? Salute, pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, with that, Kevin, you are up. Give it up for Kevin, everybody.
Good morning, guys.
Good morning.
Another happy Tuesday. Let's see, wake up YPN, so February the 26th at 9 a.m. That's tomorrow. Coffee, breakfast, burritos from Susse's Catering and a bit of networking. That's tomorrow at, let's see, the Memorial Building on Center. Also, Shamrock Shenanigans, we got Thursday, March 13th, the bowling tournament. So if any bowlers in here, make sure you go to that. And Spring Mixer at the double L or double LL Steakhouse.
It's a double L.
Thursday, March 20th. So coming up here at 11 a.m. over at the, let's see, where's that? Well, the double L.
It is funny that there's 2 L's.
Special training going on here. We had one a while back, about a year and a half ago with Heather Pietro-Forte from her law offices. So donuts, and we're going to talk about estates, planning, and a lot of good stuff. We had a really great turnout, so it's going to be a really special training. More than likely, we're going to have it out in the lobby, just like last time. Special stuff. Also, a reminder to everybody that jordanlink.com/tools. We do have a YouTube channel, so everything from the beginning of the year that's been recorded over Zoom, it's right in there. So easy to write down, pretty easy to remember. jordanlink.com/tools. You'll come in here to all the links for our company. But the YouTube channel, that's where our recordings are. We're still building up the catalog since we lost a lot of the videos, well, all of them from before the year from Workplace, but they'll be right up there. I don't think we have our mortgage here.
What we told them to, all right?
Skip him and over to Mike Allen.
All right.
Morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Morning.
Thank you guys for showing up today. I was excited to see we have 3 houses on tour. I think that's a record in several years, probably since pre-COVID, right? Seems like we haven't had that many on, but that's exciting. The company's taking on a lot of new listings right now. I watch that on a daily basis, and all the offices are signing up some pretty good listings, and it really shows our dominant position in our relative markets in terms of listing properties. And as we know, those who control the listings control the market, right? So that's what we want to keep doing, guys. And that's why I want to talk about listings today. But first, let's look at a quote. If you want to be happy, stop setting such high expectations for others and set higher expectations for yourself. Think about that. And that's me. I'll let you guys use that. Feel free to share it. Free of charge. No copyright. Unlike my book. But that took a while to sink in for me, believe it or not. It really did, because somebody that's always trying to grow and achieve, or what they call an overachiever, and I do have a quote for that I'll share with you later on. Sometimes we expect too much of others, right? We expect others to react in the same way we would react under adversity, right? Under challenge, under stress, in the same professional situation. And we have to stop doing that. We really must stop doing that, because at the end of the day, these people aren't you. And they may not have your skill set, your background, they may not have your patience, your mental fortitude, but also they just may be going through something on a very personal level that we don't know about, right? And it's hard to judge people when we really don't know what's going on behind the scenes, what's sparking that emotional response or that outlash or their attitude. When we really get away from expecting such high expectations for others, it really empowers us, because one thing is we're not let down as much, right? We're not disappointed as much by them not doing what we thought they would do, or not reacting to a situation the way I would have reacted to it, for example. And once I started getting past this, and it's not that you don't set any expectations for anybody. Obviously, I have great expectations for you guys to succeed, but it's stop setting unrealistic bars for others and then being disappointed by it every time. Get over that. Just focus on elevating yourself and improving and showing some emotional intelligence or EQ in those situations. And man, the stress level starts coming down dramatically, trust me. All right, so let's talk about top 5 home seller objections that are relevant to today's market and how to overcome them. So since we're starting to get some listing momentum, I just wanted to share some ideas with you today about what some of the more common objection handlers are. Number one, I don't want it to pay a commission, or don't want to pay the commission you're charging, right? So I've written down some scripts here that I can make available to you guys upon request. But hey, I just don't want to pay any commission, the commission you're charging. A great response is, I've written down it, I completely understand you wanting to save some money. But here's the reality. Homes sold by agents typically net more even after paying a commission. In fact, studies show the agent assisted sales go for an average of $55,000 more than for sell by owners or FSBO properties. So by hiring me, you're not spending money, you're saving money. And by paying my commission, you're actually saving money. And that percentage range versus if they went to try to do it on their own ranges even today between 14 to 18% less if they try to sell it themselves. And that's tangible studies. And you guys can share that. Look, do you want to leave money on the table? You're trying to save money by not paying me or doing it yourself. This is what's going to happen. But the other big one that you guys are still running into is I don't want to pay the buyer's agent because I heard I don't have to. Anybody still dealing with that, right? So here's a quick one. Hey, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, well, that's correct, and all commissions are negotiable. I caution you on this strategy. Our job is to expose your home to as many prospective buyers as possible. Most buyers still work with real estate agents and want their own representation. How about we price your home accordingly so you can work with this option as we receive offers? Ultimately, you decide what you want to pay the buyer's agent based on the offer. That's it. Why would anybody say no to that? Give me an offer. Okay, that offer is horrible. I don't want to pay the buyer's agent. Fine, that's your prerogative. No, this is a great offer. Actually, they bid above list price. Well, I think most sellers would be happy to pay a buyer's agent 2.5%, 3% in those cases, right? All right, number 2. The market is too unpredictable right now, which it is. It's been a roller coaster, right? I mean, even Nostradamus got it wrong. I mean, it's seriously, I don't know. I mean, I'm having trouble with it, and I've prided myself on being able to predict market conditions, but it's simple. We say, I hear you. It's true. The market has shifted, but here's the good news. Homes are still selling and buyers are still buying. That hasn't stopped. There's still demand out there. And the key is just having the right strategy to position your home to sell as quickly as possible. And that's my job. My job is to position your home to sell as quickly as possible for the most money that we can get you. And that's what you get by hiring me. And it's really, the analogy is like driving in the fog, which we know about Thule fog, right? We've had a little bit over this winter, and unexperienced drivers driving in the fog, what do? They drive and they go 20 miles an hour and they're up against the windshield, and windshield wipers are on, and then it gets too thick like pea soup and then they pull over and you know, sometimes they create more danger for themselves during that process of not just trying to go with the flow of the traffic, but you know, that's where we come in because we're experienced fog drivers, right? We get them through the fog, the storm, and we get them to the destination. So that's kind of a good little analogy, use it or don't. But ultimately, you know, in our area, homes are priced correctly and are still selling, homes that are priced correctly are still selling within 30 days. And that's the truth of the matter. They're selling for 30 days or less on market time. But that's only if they're priced correctly. All right, number 3, I want to wait until spring or some other arbitrary time. This is getting frustrating with sellers trying, even buyers for that matter, trying to time the market. Number 1, I mean, this isn't the stock market. I mean, there's no advantage to timing to market right now. So here's how to respond to the sellers. I totally get it. Spring feels like a prime time to sell. Let's say they said spring. But think about this. Right now, there are fewer homes on the market, which means buyers have fewer choices. That puts you in a position of power. When spring rolls around, you're competing against a flood of other listings, which can mean more days on the market and some possible price reductions because of the competition. So selling now lets you control the playing field instead of fighting for attention later. So why are we timing the market? What is the advantage to waiting in this case? There really is none. And as rates start coming down, which they are, I think that's everybody's prediction. They're not going to stay stagnant. They will start coming down gradually, not you know, a free fall, but gradually. Rates come down, demand goes up, prices go up a little bit, but you know, we have to consider that most sellers are selling to get into another home. So what's, you know, yeah, they want more money on their home. We get it. They should obviously have some equity if they've owned it more than 3 years, but getting into that new home as soon as possible is only advantageous for them because then they can gain on that equity as it goes up and they're not competing on the fact that you know, prices could come backwards on them in the short term if they compete with, you know, 5 different homes in their neighborhood selling. Anybody ever get a listing and then 3 other listings come on in the neighborhood?
Mhm.
Yeah. So what happens? Sometimes you don't get 100% of list price, right? Yeah. All right. Number 4, I had a bad experience with my last agent. Hopefully that wasn't you. So here's a quick script. I've been using this script for many years when I used to sell. So, hey, I'm really sorry to hear that. Unfortunately, not all agents are created equal. I should know I have to work with some of these people.
Nice.
Yeah, I used to use that line and they'd get them to laugh. So then they would loosen up about you. They'd, okay, this person's human. Thank goodness. Look, I focus on communication strategy and results. Our company has been successfully listing and selling homes for nearly 50 years. That's a powerful statement you guys can make that most can't. Let's talk about what went wrong last time so I can make sure to avoid those issues and get your home sold this time around. So that's simple. That script works probably 9 out of 10 times. They let down their guard. They're like, okay, yeah, let's hear what you have to say. Super simple, right? All right, so number 5, I want to price my home higher than what you're suggesting. An age-old story, right? I want more money. And again, we all want more money. We make more money if you get more money. We're on the same page. You know, we're not looking for just the quick sell. We want to all make the most money we can. So it's like, look, I completely understand you want to get the most for your home, but here's the reality. Pricing it too high can actually hurt your chances of selling. Buyers and their agents are savvy, and if they see your home is overpriced, they'll just skip it altogether. They won't even show it. And my goal is to get it right in the beginning so we can attract serious buyers and possibly get multiple offers and get you the best price possible. So look, it's gas station analogy, and feel free to use this analogy. It's, you know, how many of you look for the best value of gas, price per gallon these days? So as we're driving around looking for gas, particularly in an area that we don't know too well, you know, how many of you stop at Chevron, which is on average 50 cents per gallon or more, you know, unless you just love Chevron gas. I mean, some people do, they're willing to pay for the quality, right? Most of us don't. We pass by Chevron and we go to the Shell or whatever, the AM/PM or Arco, that's a lot cheaper. And it's very similar, you know, unfortunately, it's just reality that as buyers are perusing Zillow and Realtor.com and as their agents are perusing the MLS, if your home is priced, over 20%, average list value for that type of home, they're just gonna drive right by it to the cheaper price per gallon, right? So think about that analogy. So really it's just about using market data to show them the impact of overpricing and where they really fall. So homes priced too high sit on the market longer and end up selling for less. That is a proven fact. So if we price competitively, we create demand, increase your chances for multiple offers. So that's kind of a closing line with that objection. All right. And I think that is all I had. Do we have any questions on any of that?
Yeah, that gas man was cool. Like we should have used that more often.
Yeah, feel free to use that one.
Yeah.
Anyway, so, hey, but if you guys want a copy of this script, just email me at mike@jordanlink.com and I'll turn around and do an attachment and send it to you. All right, thank you.
Thanks, Mike. We don't have a remote today?
Oh, I'm sorry.
You took it?
Recording the remote.
Oh, I didn't he didn't put it up. All right. Oh, it's the same one as last week. What boss is always getting locked out of its house? Noki. All right, good. That was, I don't know why. Oh, this one too. Knock, knock. Who's there? Door is locked. That's why I knocked. All right. I'm not sure why we got the same ones, but this is something I don't know if I showed you guys last week, but this is most of us over here. We wake up with some really good ideas. We go to bed thinking of the issues that we have, and we just don't write them down. Please start writing down, not just your thoughts, plans, and goals, but everything that you come up with. Some of the best inventors in the world have, and through generations and really through hundreds of years, have written down their answers right when they wake up. Who was the guy that invented the light bulb? Edison. Actually, it wasn't Edison that invented the light bulb. He just got the credit. It was actually somebody else that invented it. What he came up with was the gas inside the light bulb that helped the filament stay on. But if you ever read any of his books, you know what one of his tricks was to coming up with solutions? He would tie a little bell to his finger and put his finger right here, and he would start falling asleep trying to think of ideas, and he would fall asleep, and when his hand fell down, it would wake him up and he'd write down the solutions. He found out that in the dream state, he came up with a lot of solutions, which is why he was a great inventor. Anybody know that? And he wasn't the only one. There's been people that have done this for years and years and years. How many of you watch a TV show and then you go to bed and you have a dream about that TV show? There's a reason a lot of you don't watch scary movies right before you go to bed. Because you have nightmares, right? Or whatever it is, right? But really, raise your hands. How many of you had a dream and have ever about a TV show you went? It's the same with the issues you tell your brain right before you go to bed. You want to come up with solutions. So please start writing them down. If you don't want to have a piece of paper next to your notepad, what do you guys have right in your pocket? Voice memo. Put it in your notes. There's a lot of things that you guys are dealing with that if you guys just wrote down what you dreamt of and some of the solutions, you guys would have a lot of answers. It's already there for you. You just forget about it because you drink a cup of coffee and you forget what your dream was all about. So anyways, write them down. Read this one with me, please. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Everyone must choose one of two pains, the pain of discipline or the pain of regret.
I'm going to show you guys what regret looks like here in a little bit. Let's roll. This is a little bit small, but I want you guys to stay with me as I go through this. How to reach $1 million in real estate investments, and then how we can do that also through stocks. But how to reach it in $1 million. Anybody know how long it will take you in real estate? The answer is you don't really know, because you got to look at appreciation, how much house you can afford. But I want you guys to really look at it. Real estate allows you to borrow money to control large assets. For an example, if you buy a $500,000 property with $100K down, if it appreciates 5% annually, it grows to 638 in just 5 years, right? Plus the rental income if you're making some income on it. And if you go through all of that, it'll take you right about between 5 and 15 years, depending on the market you live in, to make $1 million in passive real estate equity. This is what it looks like versus the stock market. Stock market is in yellow, real estate is in blue. This is a score of 1 to 10. They're basically scoring what's a better investment. And so if you go to leverage, you can't really leverage. Real estate is 100% leverage. You can leverage. You can buy it with very little money down. You can buy your first home with almost nothing down, right? 5%, 3% down. With stocks, you can't really do that. Whatever you put into the stock, that's what you get, plus whatever it's going up, right? Cash flow. Are you going to cash flow on your stocks? Yeah. You buy some stocks where they pay you dividends and the company is doing well. You can make some money, some leverage, but you can do real estate income every single month on real estate if you're renting it for more than what your mortgage is. How about for appreciation? Which one ranks better? Here was almost a tie. It really depends on the market. And because there was something that happened in 2010. What happened in 2010? It really was the first time that we had a real estate bubble, but it caused it to maybe not be as safe as it has historically been, right? Tax benefits. What has better tax benefits? Real estate, by far, much better. Liquidity, well, in real estate, if you need your cash out of it, what do you have to do? Refinance it or sell it to get your cash out. With stocks, you can actually take a loan against it, or you can just sell it and get your money back out very, very quickly. Just a matter of days, really, in the stock market. It's a lot longer than in real estate. Time to $1 million, real estate has a much higher score. Now, I wanted to show you what that really looks like, because most of it are visual. With a $500 monthly investment at 10%, by the way, the stock market has an average return of about 7.25. But with real estate, we took an average, we did it at 10%. It would take you, in order to get $1 million, it'd take you about 31 years in the stock market. If you put in $500, how many of you have a car payment that's more than $500? Raise your hand really high. You don't have a car payment? Nice. Peter,
Not more than $500.
what is your car payment? Good job, man. That's not very bad. That's not bad at all. So one more time, I want to see how many of you. More than 5, more than 7, more than 8, more than 9. I'll stop there. At $500, how many of you drink Starbucks daily? $5 a day. That's a lot more than this in a month. All right, it would take you just under 31 years to get $1 million at the average return. It's not a lot. We have this mental thing that we think it's a lot. The average person was 33 years in their job before they retired. That's after graduating high school. A lot of you started working through high school and through college. You guys are probably work about 44 years. Okay. If you guys put $500 away in 31 years, you're a millionaire. At 10% return. Sounds good, right? After reaching $1 million, your portfolio will continue to grow at 10% without any additional money. This is why I'm going to flip it here in a little bit. I'm going to tell you guys why everybody should be buying real estate and why real estate is generational wealth. So we get to about 30.5 years and you got $1 million, right? The actual calculations, you're going to have 1,100,000. That's the actual real calculation, but it just jumps because that's the way that interest works. Year 2, year 3, takes 7 years for it to double without any more money out of your pocket. It doubles again and again, and it just keeps compounding after you stop putting money in. This is compound interest. This is really, really good. Look at this. Year 10, you had 2.5 million. Now it took you 31 years to get there. In just 9 years, it's doubled. Now, a lot of you, it would take 31 years to become a millionaire. But what if your parents set you up with some real estate? What if they set you up with one rental property or something that you could put away? Look what happens after year 15, just 5 more years to double to $4 million. Took 31 years to get there. Just 5 years later, it's worth 4 million. 10 years later, 6.7 million. But you gotta remember, this is you not putting any more money in. You've stopped putting money into it. This is why generational wealth is huge. This is why buying a home is huge. Because if you don't leave anything to your kids, and if you have 3 or 4 kids, it doesn't matter. If you set them up and they sell that house, now they have this equity where they can go buy their own property. Now you're taking it from 31 years, you might have put them here in just a couple of years. It is huge. It's absolutely huge. I mean, look at that. It took you 31 years, and in 10 more years, you have $6 million. You made $5 million in interest in just 10 years. The first million is hard. The next 10 years is just waiting. But a lot of us, you got to start now. I mean, most of you weren't left with $1 million, right? It's going to take you 31 years to get there. If you're there, look what you can do for your kids if you left them a little something. So this is the pain of regret. So let's take a look at this in a very realistic way, how this looks in real estate. Read it with me. Ready? If a $380,000 house appreciates at 7% per year, it will be worth approximately $532,000 in 5 years. It'll take you about $30K to invest into buying your first house. Okay. A lot of you can get in cheaper than that. You guys already know that. Right after 5 years, read it with me. After 5 years, you can show $152,000 in appreciation plus whatever you paid off down the mortgage. Approximately a total of $174,000 in total equity. This is real numbers. This is just real numbers. You can go back to COVID and you can go buy a $380,000 house, 5 years ago, and it'd be worth about $532 right now, right? If you invest $30K in the stock market, the same $30,000 down payment, 7% return, you have $42,000. What did you make in the stock market? Well, you made $12,000. If you put that $30,000 here, what would you rather have in 5 years? Right, and this is why real estate generational wealth is important. Let's take it a little bit further. Read it with me. You now can borrow 80% of $174,000. We know that, right? Especially if you're gonna move out of it. What can you borrow?
$139.
And what can you do with that?
Buy 2 more rentals.
And do it again. The reality is probably gonna buy one more rental. You can buy two, but then you're gonna be over leveraged. So you buy one more rental, and then what happens? Now, let's go to 10-year mark. You see the blue? This is your stock market. If you went to 10 years, that 30,000 would be $59,000. Okay, that's your original $30,000. You haven't put any more into real estate, you haven't put any more into the stock market. You just put the same $30,000 somebody left you. Let's roll. For 532, because you remember, now we're 5 years down the road, now the house is 532,000. Now you bought another one with a home with $134,000 down. This is your mortgage. Pretending that you can rent it for that, because that's gonna be a pretty big home. It's gonna cover itself. Read the second part with me. Ready, guys? Read from here. Ready? If a $532,000 house appreciates at the
Appreciates
same
7%
7%,
per year.
it will be
It will
worth
be worth
approximately
approximately
747,000.
in 5 years.
That's 214,000 depreciation plus 22,400 that you paid off in your mortgage. Did you pay off that mortgage or did your tenant pay off the mortgage? Great. Now you have two houses for a total of $473,000 in equity. Okay, and that's in 10 years after buying just a second home. Does that look better than the stock market to you?
Yes.
That's one of the things that you can't do in the stock market. If you got 100 grand from an inheritance and you put that in the stock market, you're gonna get with appreciation of that 100 grand, right? But if you put that in real estate, the reality is it's not that 100 grand. You're paying the total value of that house, $500,000 or whatever it happens to be. So when your equity is going up, it's on the total value of the home. You're controlling a big asset for a percentage of a down payment. Let's roll. Read it there. If a $747,000 house appreciates at 7%,
per year.
it will be worth approximately $1 million in the next 5 years. 3 rentals, now you have $1,795,000 in equity after having bought the first house just 15 years ago. This is what real estate can do for you. And these are real numbers. I didn't go and pick cheap houses, I just picked a regular house that everybody can relate to at $380,000. Who bought a house in the last 5 years? Or who refinanced? Good. If you don't mind, what was your house and when did you buy it?
Oh, I just bought one last year
Okay.
in November. It was
November?
at 410 for a 2,050 square foot house.
That's good. There's too recent to really show equity. Larry, when did you buy your house?
November 2022,
Okay, so 3 years. What did you buy it for?
320,
What is it worth now roughly?
around 350.
Not bad, 2 years. Anybody else want to share? Who bought about 5 years ago or so? About 5 years ago, you bought another one? Tell us about the one you bought 5 years ago.
Well, I actually bought off field,
Oh, good.
yeah, back in 2020.
Yeah.
I bought 3 houses.
Very good.
Yeah, they all appreciate a lot of it.
And that's really good. Mike, you've been in your house here since we bought the business a short
7
time.
years.
What did you buy it for?
292,000.
What's the neighborhood selling for now?
Minimum of 550. My house is probably worth 6 to 650.
It's doing these numbers time after time. Guys, the stock market, second rental, third rental, these are real numbers. Really, it should be really, this should scare you right here. Because a house that's 542,000 now in 5 years and be worth about 700,000. That's the reality of it. You can go back 5 years, you can go back 10 years. Who was in the real estate market right about 2000? 1998, 2000, anybody? Yeah.
My first house was bought in the year of 2000.
Yeah.
Under like 30,000.
That's what I was looking at old newspapers in the 1998, 1999, 2000. New construction homes, Centex was big back then here in the valley. It was about 90, it started in the high 90s. And that was to Larry Cordero. In Visalia, a brand new construction house was in the low 100,000s. You're selling those houses now for $450 million, right? And that's what they were back then. So I know that when I show you this, that you guys see this number and you guys get scared. And you guys go 10 years from now, and that's the value of it.
I bought my first property for $40,000 in northeast Visalia.
Yeah.
And it's been renting out for $1,700.
What's the average value now in that neighborhood for you? In 2010, when the market took a big crash and I was not in a position to buy, I called my sister up and I said, hey, you really got to get into real estate because she had cash and I didn't. And she bought this Kevin Blaine flip little property in Portugal and Laurel, like 100-year-old, but actually probably like a 60-year-old house then. She bought it for 72,000. That was renovated. That was a flipped property, 72. Right now it's probably worth about 280 because it's a lower end property, but it's tripled in value. You know what she's done in the last 10 years since she bought it? Actually, 14 years since she bought it, 13 years. She's collected income for the last 13 years on top of everything else, right? And so what I want to show you is this. If you're buying your first house right now at 747,000, could you guys afford the down payment? The reality is probably a lot of us would struggle. A lot of us probably couldn't afford that, right? Take it down to 10 years from now, when it's $1 million. What's happening as prices go up and people come in from out of the area and start buying and continue to buy houses here, your first time buyers are the ones that are suffering. They're the ones that are getting harder and harder for them to buy a house. Right now, you can buy a house with 380,000 on the market, right? In 10 or 15 years, that house is gonna be worth about, in 10 years, it's gonna be worth about 700,000. In 15 years, that's gonna be $1 million house. Generational wealth is important because they gotta get into that house. And if your parents bought a house and if there was 3 siblings and there was 4 of you, maybe total, if they sold that house, now you guys all have a down payment for your own homes, right? There's something to generational wealth that just builds. I showed you the scale of the stock market for one thing. It takes 31 years to get to $1 million with $100 investments. In just 10 years after that, it's gone to $4 million with no more investments. Time is not on your side, but when somebody buys something and gives it to you, they're just giving you this big head start. Guys, where do you guys want to be? What's a good investment for you? Those numbers are real. These numbers aren't fake. You can do your own calculations. These are real numbers. This is really what it looks like. But you got to convince your people now. You got to convince your customers, your family members, your relatives, all your clients, they got to buy now. Because the longer they wait for their interest rates to go down, the more expensive the house gets. The more down payment they need, the harder it is for them to buy. Here's your 20-year projection after reaching $1 million, growing at 10% annually. Sorry, I went backwards. Guys, this is huge. In 15 years, it went to 4 million. In 20 years, again, it goes to $6 million with no more investment. Do it in real estate.
I'm curious what your answer would be, like, cause I saw the other side of the coin as well.
Yeah.
I bought a condo in Monterey for 510,000.
And the market crashed.
It's over 215.
If you had that money in the stock market, it crashed too.
Yeah.
And
So
so-
what would your answer be to a person with that objection?
Oh, when the economy crashes, it crashes both in real estate and in the stock market. And the stock market has crashed a lot more than real estate. So the best answer is, in what I would tell all of you to do is you do this, you buy real estate and then you get the equity or the surplus or what the cash flow, as we call it, from your rentals, whatever you're getting above your mortgage, and you put that into the stock market. I play the stock market really safe, but my money goes into the stock market. I try to put money in, and when I have enough in there to buy another rental, a down payment, that's what I do. I take money out. And so I use the equity from real estate. I throw that in the stock market. I'm very safe with most of it. Some of them not so safe, but there's a few that I've had that have been kind of volatile. But that's what I do, is I
So
diversify.
diversification, which is what.
Diversification.
Yeah.
I put my big money into real estate and I put the equity that I get monthly or the cash flow into stocks. All right, anybody have questions on this? Guys, those are real numbers. by the
Yeah,
way.
to address his concern is when you buy a real estate investment, you're never going to buy something that doesn't pencil on the front end.
Yeah.
If it pencils on the front end, which means the rents will safely cover your PITI and operating expenses, depending on how big the property is, you will never get hurt unless we just go into a mass depression and all that. I mean, you can say never, can't say never, but that's the safe thing. So I was in the same boat. I was buying investment properties in 2008 and was watching the market drop as I bought them. I got stuck with a couple flips that I thought I was gonna be able to bail out on. I just, luckily, my rents covered the nut until the market started appreciating again. So I didn't get hurt. I was just a waiting game at that point.
Yeah.
So like anybody, and we offer it, Michael and I both, as mentorship within the company, anybody that's interested in buying investment properties that aren't experienced, come see us. We've got the pro forma tool that I built. We can pencil those things out for you and let you know our opinion on whether it's a good investment or not.
Yeah, I take a little more risk than Mike does when it comes to investment. Mike wants it to pencil at a certain percentage where it makes a profit and has to make some because he has enough. I'm like, man, if the mortgage is
Agreed.
covered, well, he's learning lessons, not lessons. Like for me, it's if the mortgage is gonna be covered and then some, because you have your mortgage, you got your insurance, you have all of those things, and then I'm good. I'll take some chances on it. In blue, you guys see what that 30,000 is in 10 years? Here's that 30,000 in 15 years. It does go up. Stock market is good. It's not as good as real estate. Because you only get to control and get the appreciation on what you physically put in, where in real estate, you get to control this big asset and you get the appreciation of all $300,000 or all $500,000 worth of house for just the percentage of down payment that you put. and that equity is yours. You get to benefit from that, and you don't get to benefit from $500,000 in equities if you only have 50,000 in the stock market, right? That's all you're gonna get is the appreciation of what you put in. That's the difference between real estate. That's where you should diversify, put the extra money you get from your rental monthly income, put that in the stock market. Play it safe, that way you don't lose that and you have that money there for repairs. So real estate, get into it as quick as you can, buy a second property, buy a duplex, buy a triplex, buy what you can in real estate when you can, as long as Mike says it, as long as it pencils for you, okay? That makes sense?
You know, one thing that I didn't hear anyways, every year your payment will stay the same for those 30-year mortgage,
And you're
but
right.
your rent will go up.
Yep.
Right.
Yep, absolutely. And that over time, that makes just huge sense, right? Like this condo, we're gonna rent it. I got people fighting for it at $19.50 a month. It's insane. I lowered it from 2,000 to $19.50, and I got people like, I'll take it right now. I'll give you 6 months worth. I'm like, no, that's too easy. That's not the way it works. Here's the application, fill it out. You know, and there's something not right when they're offering you that kind of cash. But do it, guys. You get into real estate, don't be scared of it. It is your friend. You gotta know how to manage it. You gotta pay attention to it. But it grows at about the same pace that the stock market grows. It just happens to grow and you get, the benefit of everything that you bought for just the down payment that you put into it, so. All right, social media contest, guys, have you guys been online and get on our YouTube? Get on our YouTube page. There's some great videos on our YouTube page. You can actually probably pull it up and show a couple of videos. We want you to do some social media marketing. There's a $500 prize at hand. 250 of it is cash to you. The other $250, we're gonna pay for marketing and advertising for you. I'll tell you that our Fresno manager did a recruiting video where she's at a farm and she has a chicken in her hands and she says, don't be a chicken, call me to come work for a better company. And then she has a little turtle with its head is inside because the turtle's scared, says, come out of your shell, come and talk to me about real estate, right? Get out of your shell. And then the last one is don't be a turkey, and there's a turkey on the ground, but it was one between, it was a horse. She's petting a horse, it's like, stop horsing around and come see me. And the last one was a turkey.
Hey, I need you to not chicken out.
There it is.
Look at yourself.
Just a great video. And then do the one above it, go scroll up. This is our Bakersville manager. They're showing how it takes you to new heights. It was a 50th birthday. And then you go up to then we have an agent that this one. There you go, so just have fun with us. So, thank you. So anything you want to do, we're not gonna isolate you and your creativity. Do anything like this that you want to do. It could be just an elevator speech where you talk about yourself and what you do and how long you've been in real estate. It can be about the company. Just do some kind of social marketing contest, some kind of video. We'll pop it on here for you. We'll get likes, and at the end, we'll choose who we like anyway. No, that's not true. We'll go up the likes, and the manager will get the other half of the vote, and someone's gonna get $500. And so we still got this week. We want to get some more videos in, and if the contest gets good results, if more of you do it, then we'll continue in March. If none of you do it, then we won't give another $500 away in March. But do it, guys. Does it gonna benefit us? Yes, of course, it gets money out there, but it's gonna benefit you more than it benefits us. Plus you get $500, potentially, if you win. So who can do one of these videos? Who will do? I'll be in the video with you if you want me to. I'll dance with you. I don't care. But just do the video. Get your name out there, please. Okay, that's the social media contest. Ooh, I showed you this last week. Who logs in and sees this on the front page? Can somebody read that for me real quick, real loud?
Agents who enroll close to 2.5 times more transactions than those who don't.
I want to hear that again. If you use the Preferred Client Club, you're gonna close 2.5 more times transactions. So if somebody's closing 5 deals, if you want to get to 12.5 deals, all you gotta start doing is use the Preferred Client Club. Your customers will remember you, they'll refer you, out of sight, out of mind. It's not that they don't like you, it's that they forgot about you. You know why? Because they're married, have kids, and have a life, right? Your clients are busy. But by you doing the Preferred Client Club, you can get 2.5 times more deals than your competition or than other agents in the same company. So please, what does it cost to do Preferred Client Club? Yeah, they start at $17 or $25 or something. It's cheap. Please do it. It's a heavy.
The number
discount.
one most effective way of marketing in this day and age is testimonial marketing.
Yeah.
I mean, all the marketing pundits and gurus talk about it. how do you guys shop when you, in a new area, you're looking for a restaurant, you're on vacation?
Oh, my God.
You go to Yelp. Yeah, you want to hear your peers and other people say this is a great place.
Yeah.
And it's the same in real estate. They want to know that clients have had a satisfactory experience.
They're gonna Google you before they call you. So make sure, please do some more, but start using Preferred Client Club, everybody. I was told a chemistry joke once, I didn't get a big reaction. I don't do chemistry jokes anymore. I'm besides those. So here's another one for you. I wrote a song about a tortilla, actually it was more of a rap. Should I stop with these? This is terrible. All right, no more of those. Company training, we have a Zoom, we have trainings every Monday with me, and then we have my sales meeting this year. Fresno, we have their sales meeting on Wednesday. If any of you are curious, that's the password there. That's how you get into that one. That's the code. They have a different number. This is Bob's number. I'm not sure. Maybe this is Mitt's number. I don't know how they got that number. But that's theirs if you ever want to see it. They have some great content. But be aware of what we're doing as a company. Please be more engaged as a company. Please put yourself out there on social media some more. We're willing to pay you for it. But you gotta submit the video so we can submit it up to our YouTube page. Caravan, we have 3 properties on Caravan. Who's ready for Caravan? I love the spring weather. I mean, it isn't over gloomy. I love today actually. All right, who's is the first one? Matt, will you tell us about the first one?
Out on the,
North Acres?
North Acres on, the. Which park is that? I can't remember. Willowwood Park, it's a 1-and-1. It was a 2-and-1 and he, remodeled it. It's beautiful.
Nice.
It's decked out, it's staged, it shows well, it's a great property. It's really here in our office, it's good property, and I'm helping him with it.
Fantastic.
He does a good job when he does flips.
Nice. Caesar, you have the next one on tour. Tell us about that one.
Yeah, military got relocated, so he's already out of the house. He left a couple things back. He's like semi-staged. It's at the pool, solar. He's paying about a $25 monthly true up on it. So it's about $275 a month for electricity. It's for an 1,800 square foot, two-story home with a pool.
That's cheap.
You're not gonna beat that at all. I think that's an amazing price for power these days. It's about just shy of 1,800 square feet, just shy of 7,000 square foot lot. He spent about $20,000 making a security fence in the front. I mean, unless you got a 4x4 pickup and some chains, you ain't getting through that fence. So real secure for anybody's family. I think it's a great price at $450.
It sounds like a deal, especially with the pool.
Yeah.
Very good. And then Lane's not here, but Matt, you're helping him with that one. What's the
Yeah,
tell us about the third one?
Mr. Awesome's new listing.
Mr.
You reminded me he was Mr. Awesome.
Yeah, he always does, yeah.
So Blaine Park, a beautiful original condition home, so it's not modernized, but it's in fantastic condition, looks great. Beautiful pool, beautiful yard, landscape, got a wine cellar in the garage. You know, in a room off the garage holds about 1,200 bottles. It's a 4-and-3 with an office.
Man, 3,000 square foot house.
Yeah.
That sounds like a nice property.
Yeah, it's a nice property. Lane's there. Leo's taking pictures for him this morning, and he got another agent showing, so he's letting it in. So he'll be there when we get there.
I think a good way to, Caesar, you are north of the 180.
Yeah, I'm over by that Walmart.
So I think it should be 2, 3, 1 should be the how we do it. So it's gonna be
What, mine first?
1. 2, no, I think yours is last. Yours is north. of the
Well, you said 2, 3, 1.
Sorry, I meant the first one will be so we'll go to Bridge first,
Okay,
and then we'll go to Acres.
Okay.
And then we'll go to yours. That's what I meant.
cool deal.
I meant like that.
Then we'll see.
2, 3, 1. No, because I want to get
Yeah,
everybody.
get it in order, yeah.
Well, just the order of
I
how.
don't wanna be driving back and forth,
So
yeah.
Bridge, then Acres, then.
Bridge, then you Acres.
3, 1, 2.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Yeah, I'm dyslexic, so I put, on the side instead of using numbers and we're already there. All right, we're gonna actually get going since we're gonna end the meeting a little bit earlier. We'll get going in the next 5 minutes. That way people don't end up waiting too long. But before we do, we also go to you here on the floor. It's not working. Who has something to share? A new listing coming soon, happening once. What do you got?
I have an investor special. It's over on Joaquina. It's a 2-1 indoor laundry. It could be a great flip for a first time home buyer because it's in good shape on a 1/3 of an acre, I think, big lot. We're at
I see Caesar's wheels turning like, hey.
Yeah,
we
we're
have to
at
make some work.
215, but I mean, bring us an offer.
Very good. Sounds good.
Is
Any
it
other,
listed already?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
what's the address, son? Joaquina?
2886 Joaquina.
Thanks, Mark.
Vito?
I got my Wood Lake listen that we talked about last week, 33489 Road 204, price at 425, 1 acre, remodeled home. You guys have any buyers for that?
What was that, sorry?
33489 Road 204,
And price again?
425.
Sounds like it.
And it does have a little over an acre.
I've sent it to 3 people and for some reason they've all said it's too far from Woodlake. I'm like,
Which-
it's like a mile.
It's, yeah.
It's because they want to go
I
walking.
thought But yeah,
Yeah.
Well, hey,
I really
4
like
times
it.
the charm.
I know.
Send it to somebody else.
I really liked it. I sent it to, like I said, 3 people and all of them were like, it's just too far from, it's like a mile.
It's right there, don't you want
Yeah, I don't
You
even.
want to make it, but you want to be in town.
Yeah.
It doesn't, you know.
Yeah, they did put up that new, what is it, CFN, gas station,
Yeah.
Okay.
which is right on the corner of, Narongo and Jewel Forest.
Yeah.
And they built it in 3 months.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It went up quick.
it'll come down quick too, if they didn't do a good job.
Yeah.
Hopefully it's a nice job.
That's a good guess.
I didn't want to pick on you, but are you okay introducing yourself?
Yes.
Please.
Sure, I wrote it real quick. Well, I'm Linda Yan, and
Oh,
I'm.
yeah. Yeah.
Hi.
Please, come on up.
Okay, hi, everyone. My name is Linda Yan, and I used to work with Shaka Properties Real Estate for 12 years. And then last year I worked with, Pablo Realty, and I feel like I need more training, like what you have done. I said, oh, this is a great one, you know, like.
I was trying to impress you today, because I knew you were.
I like your joke, I like your humor, and I like, you know,
It's
open-minded.
one person.
You got one vote.
So, yeah, I think like I need to have, gotta, you know, get involved with a bigger company instead of a small one. I never got any training. I basically self-learned it.
Yeah.
I actually also a real estate investor on the side. Well, you know, and then my first house, like you're saying, my first house I bought in 2000, right? And I used that house, I bought 3 more properties from
There you
it,
go.
just equity. So it was a great, you know, investment. Currently it's a rental, so, but because that I do refinance, take out money and buy my first rental and then use that buy the second and third one.
You see, and it's worked out good.
Yeah, and then I, you know, it's still. it's-
Now, here's the thing with Linda, she hasn't decided to join us yet, so maybe
Yeah.
you can have a conversation with her. We're hoping that you will, but we wanted to invite you today, so
Yeah.
there's no pressure, it's completely up to you, but this is
Yeah.
what our meetings are usually like.
Yeah, I am.
It was like this last week too, right?
Right.
Kind of the same,
Yeah.
so completely new, just, my jokes were
Yeah.
better last week, I'm sorry.
I'm a full-time school teacher. I currently teaching at Danuba Unified in the adult school. I teach the independent study program. I have a very flexible schedule, which is blessed, you know, I loved it. And I don't want to give up my job as a teacher, but I still interested in real estate and I have a clientele from, you know, like the Bay Area or Southern California. That's my clientele. But I don't work with locally too much.
It's okay, so can they have more money?
Yeah, so I don't want to give them, because they trust me, so I do public management on the side and, you know, okay, on my own. So I'm a self-learner. I feel like I need to learn something, you know, to improve myself, you know. So I think I'm very interested in joining you guys. I will see how I, at the topic might today.
Yeah, I think one of the things that I was giving you advice this morning is learn the contract, please
Yes.
learn the contract.
Mhm.
Especially when you've been doing it part-time, for me
Yeah.
personally, it stopped me in a way that I never knew was affecting me. Once I learned the contract and listening to him more particularly, that I felt more comfortable going after those customers.
Yes, I do have 2 listing will coming up. Actually, one I'm putting on hold because I want to see if I should switch my broker now, you know, things like that.
Put it on hold until you sign.
Yeah, so,
Have them have your
yeah.
paperwork ready by lunch. and-
Really, 2 good properties, if you guys interested in buying, they are really good ones, so if, you know, interested.
In here, we have a lot of
Next time.
agents that work with customers directly, but then we have some that are investors themselves.
Mhm.
And so that's why they were sharing some of this investment property, so yeah. So yeah, you definitely. I don't know.
This
Linda,
meeting
thank you.
is- Thank you.
Any forthcoming soons or has and wants? Yes.
Well, after 4 months, I finally got the commercial property in escrow.
Good
Of
job.
course, a week later, I get a doctor who wants to set up a medical building. So now we're looking for a vacant commercial lot. Hanford, Lamar, maybe this way.
Okay.
Another one was 2 acres, but yeah, you want vacant land to build a medical. Build office.
Go with what you want.
I have a shop owner who's looking to buy a shop instead of rent. Like a small engine repair, so anywhere preferably in Visalia.
Yeah.
Nobody knows.
Has to have a show there. Have you been on LoopNet? I'll help you look.
No, I haven't.
All right, get on LoopNet. All right, everybody, I have a want, my want is for all of you to go buy an investment property as soon as possible. That way you guys can get yourselves years ahead. Let's leave in 5 minutes. We're gonna head over to the one that's by Lane 5 over on Bridge Street. We'll see you guys down here in 5 minutes. Let's go on tour. Thank you. Everybody. Bye.